Hey, what is up, everybody? We're back. We are still deep into the cut. Here's what I'm thinking. Someone's at my door. It's me. Here's what I'm thinking. We go a couple weeks deeper into this cut because I'm getting down there. And then once we get to, better not rattle. Once we get to a couple weeks deeper into this cut, we will take a couple weeks to kind of rejuvenate. Hop back up a couple hundred calories back to maintenance and just try to get my body accustomed to that. Try to balance out my hormones, everything, get everything functioning at an optimal level, right? And then after 2 to 4 weeks of that, it's bulk time, baby. And then the long haul begins. We'll play it by ear though, okay? I'll keep you guys in the loop. Today though, still on the cut. About to go hit some back and buys, pool day. But today's topic, I'm just gonna drop some cutting knowledge on you guys, okay? Because I started, I don't know how many days we're in now, but it'll tell you on the screen. I did start March 1st though, and in like 3 months, I dropped 30 pounds. Most of that being non-lean mass. So here is my philosophy on cutting, right? So first, let me just say that losing fat, much easier than building muscle. That being said, that's why your bulks should be much longer than your cut, okay? Because you can shed some fat pretty dang fast. But building muscle, that is a long journey, a lifetime journey. But that's why I structure my bulk and cut the way that I do. So I always start my cut February or March because everybody wants to be shredded for summer, you know. And the bulk starts up again back around August or September-ish, okay? And you take, first off, one of the biggest mistakes people make in bulking is trying to bulk too quick. If you bulk too quick, you will ruin everything, all right? The whole point of bulking is because your body will run optimally for building muscle at like a body fat percentage that's like, for men, probably like 12 to 15, up to even 20 for some people. But that's the whole point, okay? If you try to rush the bulk, you will jump straight to the higher end of that body fat percentage, and you're just defeating the whole purpose. The purpose is to build as much muscle as you can while slowly feeding your body more than it needs, just barely more than it needs, to properly build that muscle. Anyways, back to cutting. Cutting, here's what I do. When I first start my cuts, I do a pretty aggressive start, aka an aggressive cut. So let's say, what was I at? 3,000? I think when I ended last bulk, I was at 3,000 calories a day. I instantly dropped to like 2,200, 2,000 to 2,200. Some people like to do it in reverse, so they'll start at 3,000 and drop to like 1,600 or 1,200 even, and they'll do it in reverse and then build their way back up. So that's definitely an option. What I did, so I started at 3,000, dropped down to 2,200, and at first the weight just flies right off you, right? Most of it's waste and water and whatnot, but a lot of it is fat as well. You'll drop that, and then you monitor your weight every day. You use the mirror. There's a couple ways that you monitor this. And then when you are no longer losing weight or seeing changes in the mirror, about 2 weeks is the longest I'll give it. I always give it at least a week before making any changes. But if you're pretty dialed in and you haven't seen anything for 2 weeks, then I drop it again. Drop it about 200 calories and rinse and repeat. And I do this process until we're done with the cut. I just made another tweak to my diet and cardio, as I was saying. So that's your two options. You can either drop your calories by a couple hundred, or you can up your cardio, or both. When you get really deep into the cut, you have to do both. But boom, you keep doing that until you are at a body fat percentage that you like, and then some people like to maintain until summer's over. I get it. And then you start the cycle back over again. I recommend doing that little transition phase in between the cut and the bulk to get your body right, get it how it wants to function before going straight to the bulk. Because again, the point of the bulk is to optimize performance, optimize muscle building. It's not to put on weight, all right? Although that is what happens. So that's kind of how I run my cuts. Let me give you some tips and tricks. You need to be getting at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you're 180 pounds, 180 grams of protein. That should be pretty non-negotiable. From there, you need to be getting at least 50 grams of fats, okay, for your average human. Fats are very important in maintaining our hormones and our bodily functions, right? The rest can be carbs. Whatever you have left, it can be carbs, it can be proteins, it can be fats, it doesn't matter. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. From there, things to focus on are non-processed whole foods. You know what those are. Don't make me break it down. Lots of water. Focus on not drinking your calories. That's the reason I got this Gatorade Zero here. Insanely clutch, 5 calories. Those are very satiating. And not snacking. If you can just plan out 3, 4, 5 meals, very minimal snacks, 0 calorie drinks instead of drinking your calories, and then prioritize your recovery, aka your sleep and your rest, you will be good. You'll be fine. You'll be just fine. So if you're still struggling with that, I do have some tips for cravings, because cravings is just going to be part of it. All those other things will help minimize the cravings that you're having. But number 1 is starting your first meal a little later in the day. Okay? When I eat my first meal is about 11 a.m. to noon, because before then I'll get my water in, I'll get my salt in, pinch of salt, stay hydrated, I'll drink my coffee, and I am really not hungry until at least 11 or 12. The problem is, if I eat before that, it kind of just kick-starts my whole system, and I will be starving for the rest of the day. So I'll take it slow. I'll eat my first meal later in the day, whatever that may look like to you. And my last meal I eat at least 4 hours before going to bed. So usually it's like from 11 or 12 to 8 is the only times I'm eating. And if you can stack 3-4 meals in there, you'll be good. Coffee/caffeine, very good for hunger. Another one, which I don't necessarily recommend, because I don't believe anyone's gonna do it healthy and low dose is nicotine. Nicotine actually will crave your hunger, but don't do that. Third, these babies, or any 0-calorie mints. They're probably not actually 0 calories. They're probably like 2 or 3, but you get it. When you're really just, that's usually like a last resort when you are really hungry and you're fiending for that snack. Pop in one of those. You'll be good. It kind of satiates that for me. And it's more of a hand-to-mouth thing. Just like when you're quitting smoking, this hand-to-mouth action will satiate most of the desire that you're feeling. But also, it's sweet, so it feels good. God, this holding this tripod is just killing my bicep. Anyways, I hope that helps. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. We're going to get into this lift. We're trying to build a community here, so I got Discord, TikTok, Instagram, whatever you want to find me on, it's down below. We'll get into this lift and stop yapping, so meet you there.